Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And this is the book that I'll be sharing from. Nothing changes, everything changes. This is by my guru, His Eminence the 25th Sam Tuku Rinpoche. And I'll be sharing from page 89, Get Over It. Make mistakes, then face them. And as usual, before that, I will go to a picture to share with you while I'm doing the reading. Right, page 89. Get over it. Make mistakes, then face them. A heading. This Dharma talk follows a public apology made by one of Rinpoche's close students, Geraldine. Geraldine had left the Dharma Center and not been involved in the center's activities for about 2 years due to certain misunderstanding and unhappiness with the center on her part. Before a public Dharma talk, Geraldine made a formal apology to Rinpoche and his other students and made a request to return to doing Dharma work. We can't change the world, but we can definitely transform our view of the world. Dharma work is a very, very difficult job. It's just as strenuous and just as time-consuming, if not more, than every other job. So therefore, it is a very, very difficult job because in Dharma work, if you are doing real Dharma work, you are not just teaching people how to do mantras. You are not just teaching people how to pray. You are not just teaching people how to meditate or tell them to read a good book. When you're doing Dharma work, what you're doing is you're trying to solve people's problems, not solve their problems just symptomatically. It's if someone has a spirit possession and you do some rituals and you do some prayers and you teach them some meditations, and if they do it, they will be freed of the spirit possession. It's not as simple as that. You have to go down to the cause of people's problems, the cause of people's difficulties. It's not outside enemies anymore. It's not outside enemies alone. It's not someone cheating you. It's not someone lying to you. Outside enemies alone is just environmental. It is something that manifests. In life, from the time we are born until we die, we are going to meet and we are going to encounter people. We are going to encounter situations that we seemingly think make our life very difficult. But when we look at it, yes, there are difficult people out there. Yes, there are complicated people out there. And they will do their best sometimes to make our lives difficult. But how we react towards that is how much suffering we create for ourselves. When we react negatively back to others, and we react the way we normally act without Dharma, when we react negatively without Dharma, we create more harm for others and we create harm for ourselves. And it doesn't end there because we get them, they get us. We get them, they get us. And then you may think, well, why should I stop? It's not fair. It's 50-50. They should stop also. But when we know Dharma, or when we have come under the grace of Jesus Christ, if we have come under the grace of Buddha or Allah, when we have adopted a form of spiritual practice, even if we have not, if we have adopted our parents, if we don't believe in religion and we are atheists, that's fine also. And we have adopted our family name, then not to disgrace our family name. And if we have a wonderful country like Malaysia, where everybody's educated and everybody's civil and everybody's very, 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 very good people, not to disgrace our country, not to disgrace ourselves and disgrace our families, our wives, by acting in a manner that reciprocates their harm with harm. When people harm us, we should stop them, but we should not reciprocate vengeance or harm on them. So what happens is when people do negative things to us, because we are older, if we have some gray hair on our head, if we are matured, if we have gone through the hard knocks of life, if we have specially learnt the Holy Dharma, we have a very special duty not to react back to other people the way they react back to us. Why? It takes one person to stand up and say no. Like the Buddha says, if someone gives us a gift, we don't need to take it. We don't need to take that gift. So my point is this: we can't change the world and we can't make the world do or act as we think they should do or act. But we can definitely transform our view and projection of the world. If we change our view and projection of the world, it's as if the world has changed. Whoever is trying to harm you, you do not harm them back and you say, "I'm sorry" a lot. And you smile and you're humble, their harm will stop. It's not a matter of you being right or wrong. It's a matter of stopping harm. So what happens is all of us, including me, all of us, we have good points and we have bad points in us. And sometimes the bad points takes over because of certain situations, certain people, or certain ways we think, or mostly habituation from the way we've grown up. So the way we've grown up and the way we've encountered things affects us and the way we react to other people. So like that, we make mistakes. And sometimes when we make mistakes, it's a very, very big thing not to admit our mistakes. It's a very, very big thing not to say, "I'm wrong," or not to let the other person win. By not admitting and not letting the other person know that we were wrong, we may think we have won. We may think that we are right, but actually, we create a lot of suffering for ourselves because we have to make a lot of explanations to cover, to cover, to cover, to cover. And eventually, no matter how much we explain, no matter how much we talk, we will be found out and we become inevitably unhappy. So Lord Buddha teaches us not that there are no enemies out there. Lord Buddha doesn't teach us that there's no enemies and everything's our fault. No, that's illogical. What Lord Buddha teaches us is that there are enemies, there are people, there are difficulties, there are difficult situations from the time you're born until you're dead, from the people who are the poorest and humblest to the people who are the wealthiest. Their problems are going to be exactly the same, the way it manifests to them. And I will stop here, even though it's very short, but I think the teaching is very important. And as Rinpoche has said, we don't have the ability to change the things around us, but we have the ability to change our point of views or perspective and how we face the certain situations. Most often we will encounter very difficult situations, and this will happen maybe on a daily basis or every few days or something, because we are in samsara and there will always be problems cropping up because we are facing our karma, um, when the karma that we've created, and it will come back to ripen on us. So that's why we always have difficult situations. And so what Rinpoche teaches is basically the way that we react back, which is we don't. If somebody does something to us, we should stop that from right there by not reacting back the same way that they do. So if someone is angry with us and shout at us, then we don't shout back, because we have to stop and think, why did that person shout at us, whether we deserve it or not. Basically, it's our karma, that we may have shouted at someone in the past, so it's coming back that we are being shouted at. So if we were to stop it there and then without reacting back, then we cut off that karma, and we don't create new one by shouting back. So that basically, um, I think that is why um, all the teachings is basically, how we transform our mind, and the way that we view things, and that is how we are able to gain the freedom, from creating further karmas for us to, suffer in the future. So, well, thank you for sharing your time with me. And it's really almost towards the end of the book. And I do hope that you'll continue to share your time with me as I um, do my next few sessions. Thank you. I'll end this with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Changyum Sancho Rinpoche, Maki Panam Geishi, Gepanam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Tony Tonga Rinpoche, Maki Panam Geishi, Gepanam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Naso Jini Sapagi Wadi, Tadandro Guna Kampatan, Gepa Jesu Nosan Trapai, Tamping Imporin to Sa Se Sho, Kewa Kuntu Yanda Lamadan, Drami Joki Palalo Chojing, Sadam Langi Yaterazone, Doji Changi Ngopanga to So. Gewa di nyududa lama sang yudrene drewa chike malupa de isala gopashu choki ga posonga pa chosu nampa pewala geki sama siwada tungi malu sangwashu dadam singi desenda drewa songi latene gewa losandra pai tampa yuriva gyushi ni modele sendele ni migo nyandele shi ni sintatu dele pel kunchu sungi jingilo kunchu sungi ngotuso kunchu sungi trasi sho Jesu lama kusen rap ding ching nam ka tri ni cho cho ke pada los am tempe tro me sap sungi tro e mun sa tato ni ge shi gang ri rao e ko e shin kam den pen dan dewa ma lu gyo ne cheren zi wan ten sing ga so yi sha pe shi de ba du de ge shi hom tom pe ngo tro ma lu pa den den da la sa du so ko dan den pa long chot na ke pa so shik shuk ten sao. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'll see you for my next session.